Hello everyone. So in the last class, I had given this task of writing something about the importance of good manners in the life of all of us. I hope you all tried to write about it. Uh, Anyways, we should start with our lesson once again. That is on saying please. I think I had not started the lesson because we were just discussing about A.G. Gardiner and his life. Something about him, something about the way he has written Alpha of the Plough, that is the pen name with which he has written the essays. So we have noticed some of those things, and I hope you all also maintain your notebook and keep writing the things that I give. Uh, Firstly, I think I should share the lesson. I hope you all can see the lesson on saying please by A.G. Gardiner. This lesson is available online. It is an essay written by A.G. Gardiner. You can search it in that way and you can find it easily. So here it is. On saying please by A.G. Gardiner. The young liftman in a city office who threw a passenger out of his lift the other morning and was fined for the offence was undoubtedly in the wrong. See, so he actually begins the essay by depicting an experience experience of a young liftman in a city office. There was an office in which there was a liftman who was a young man, and he threw a passenger out of his lift. Now this man was obviously a liftman, and liftman would take the passengers into his lift. He would take them to the floor they wish to go, and then he would leave them. But to one passenger, he threw this passenger out of his lift, and he was fined for the offense. This was an offense that he had, made, and then he was fined for that offense and was undoubted. The writer says that he was undoubtedly in the wrong. He was definitely wrong because this liftman had committed an offense. He had thrown this passenger out of his lift. Okay, so he was wrong, obviously. But then what had actually happened? Why had he thrown him out? Let us see that. It was a question of plea. The complainant in entering the lift said, "Stop." The liftman demanded top plea, and this concession being refused, he not only declined to comply with the instruction, but hurled the passenger out of the lift. See, so the passenger who had entered into the lift, he had said "stop," and the liftman had said that only top would not go. I mean, it would not do. You have to say top, please. He demanded that you should say top, please. And this concession was not given, and that is why he was refused this concession. So the liftman threw him out. He declined to comply with the instruction. So whatever instruction he was given, that is to take him to the top floor, he denied that. He declined, and then he threw the passenger out of the lift. He hurled the passenger out of the lift. This, of course, was carrying a comment on manners too far. Discourtesy is not a legal offense, and it does not excuse assault and battery. So, discourtesy. See, discourtesy means not having courtesy. That is to say, courtesy means manners, politeness, uh, being conscious of what you are doing, being good mannered, being having good etiquette. Discourtesy means not being good mannered. Now, the writer says that discourtesy is not a legal offense and it does not excuse assault and battery. Obviously, discourtesy is not a legal offense. Even if you don't behave properly with someone, even if you talk very rudely with someone, it is not a legal offense. It is not a crime legally. अगर आप किसी से बहुत गुड मैनर से बात नहीं भी करते हो तो वो कोई लीगल क्राइम नहीं है. इट डज नॉट एक्सक्यूज assault and battery. Assault means an attack on someone. Assault and battery would mean attack, that can be called a physical attack. But the writer says that obviously it is not a legal offense, but then if a burglar breaks into my house and I knock him down, the law will acquit me. And if I am physically assaulted, it will permit me to retaliate with reasonable violence. It does this because the burglar and my assailants have broken quite definite commands of the law, but no legal system could attempt to legislate against bad manners or could sanction the use of violence against something which it does not in itself recognize as a legally punishable offense. So what the writer here gives an example of a burglar. कोई लुटेरा मेरे घर में घुस जाता है, चोरी करने की कोशिश करता है और मुझे मारने की भी कोशिश करता है, एंड इफ आई ट्राई टू स्टॉप हिम, और ऐसा करने में अगर मुझे थोड़ा सा फिजिकल होना पड़े तो दैट इज अलाउड. मतलब जो भी वो करता है दैट इज अ फिजिकल वायलेंस दैट इज अलाउड बाय द लॉ. लेकिन अगर कोई मुझसे ठीक से बात नहीं करता है, कोई मुझसे बहुत रूडली पेश आता है, समवन इज नॉट बीइंग गुड मैनर्ड विथ मी, दैट इज नॉट अ पनिशेबल ऑफेंस. इट इज नॉट अ लीगली पनिशेबल ऑफेंस. मतलब लॉ उसको पनिशेबल ऑफेंस नहीं मानता है. एंड वॉट एवर अवर सिंपथी विद द लिफ्ट मैन, वी मस्ट एडमिट दैट द लॉ इज रीजनेबल. मतलब हमारी सिंपथी है लिफ्टमैन के साथ कि उस बंदे ने आके टॉप प्लीज क्यों नहीं कहा. तो लिफ्टमैन वॉज करेक्ट, ऐसा हम मान सकते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि लीगली उसने वो सही है. लीगली तो वो गलती है क्योंकि उसने पैसेंजर को धक्का मार के बाहर निकाल दिया. It would never do if we were at library to box people's ears because we did not like their behavior or the tone of their voices or the scowl on their faces. Our fists would never be idle and the gutters of the city would run with blood all day. अगर हम इन सब छोटी छोटी बातों के लिए फिजिकल होने लगे, मतलब फिजिकली वायलेंट होने लगे, तो फिर घर की शहर की जो गटर्स है उसमें खून बहने लगेगा. मतलब बहुत वायलेंस बढ़ जाएगा. So like you cannot always expect that people behave very properly or very courteously with you. It is not, it cannot be expected, because even if you do, they would not behave properly all the time. अगर ऐसा हम चाहे भी तो हम उनको पनिश तो नहीं कर सकते. It is not in our hand. I may be uncivil as I may please, and the law will protect me against violent retaliation. I may be haughty or boorish, and there is no penalty to pay except the penalty of being written down an ill-mannered fellow. The law does not compel me to say please or to attune my voice to other people's sensibilities any more than it says that I shall not wax my mustache or dye my hair or wear ringlets down my back. It does not recognize the laceration of our feelings as a case for compensation. Laceration means hurt feelings. So it does not recognize the laceration of our feelings as a case for compensation. मतलब law cannot cannot compel me to behave in good manners with others. I can be uncivil, I can be haughty, I can be very angry, I can be boorish, I can be rude, and there is no penalty to pay. अगर मैं अच्छे से बिहेव नहीं भी करता हूँ, अगर मैं रूडली बिहेव करता हूँ, अगर मैं बहुत गुस्सा हो जाता हूँ किसी के साथ, किसी की सेंसिबिलिटीज को बिल्कुल भी ध्यान में नहीं रखता हूँ, जोर जोर से बातें करता हूँ, आई कैन नॉट, आई मीन लॉ कैन नॉट पनिश मी. Just the way they don't tell me to wax my mustache or dye my hair, जैसे लॉ मुझे मूछें कटवाने के लिए भी फोर्स नहीं कर सकता, ना ही मेरे बालों को डाई करने के लिए फोर्स कर सकता है, बिल्कुल वैसे. So I hope you guys are getting what the writer wants to say is, for the law, it is not, I mean, legally, it is not compulsory for any of us to behave in proper manner. So it does not recognize the laceration of our feelings as a case for compensation. Compensation माने पनिश जिसमें पनिशमेंट हो, जिसमें कुछ पेनल्टी भरनी पड़े, वैसा कुछ. तो लेसरेशन ऑफ आवर फीलिंग्स मतलब हमारी फीलिंग्स लेसरेशन हर्ट हो जाए, उसके लिए कोई भी उसका कंपेंसेशन नहीं होता है, उसकी कोई पेनल्टी नहीं होती है. लॉ कैन नॉट डू दैट. देयर इज नो अलाउंस फॉर मोरल एंड इंटेलेक्चुअल डैमेजेस इन दीज मैटर्स. तो मोरल और इंटेलेक्चुअल जो डैमेजेस है, जो कई बार कहते हैं ना कि फिजिकल वायलेंस तो नहीं हुआ, लेकिन मोरली आई वॉज ब्रोकन, इंटेलेक्चुअली आई फेल्ट ब्रोकन डाउन. तो इन सब इमोशनल, इंटेलेक्चुअल और मोरल डैमेजेस का कोई भी कंपेंसेशन कभी भी होता नहीं है. लॉ ने उसका कोई अलग से कोई संविधान ऐसा नहीं है, कोई भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऐसा नहीं है जहाँ पे मोरल या इंटेलेक्चुअल डैमेजेस के लिए भी कंपेंसेशन करना पड़े. In short, the writer wants to, he has given example of a liftman who was taking the people from to different floors. Now there was a passenger who had entered into the lift and he just said stop, and the liftman said you should say stop please, and the passenger denied. So the liftman took it in a very discourteous kind of. He found it a very discourteous on the part of passenger. So he said, "I will not take you." Listening to this, the liftman threw him out of the lift. No. So this is how this one incident has been depicted, and then the writer says that हमारी मेरी सिंपैथी लिफ्टमैन के साथ उस तरीके से है कि प्लीज या फिर लोगों की प्लीज कहना या फिर लोगों की सेंसिबिलिटीज को समझना इज नॉट कंपलसरी इन द लीगल वे. मतलब लॉ ने ऐसा कोई कंपलसरी बनाया नहीं है, पर फिर भी द राइटर फील्स दैट माय सिंपैथीज आर देयर with the listener. How? Let us see that. I will answer your questions later on. This does not mean that the damages are negligible. It is probable that the liftman was much more acutely hurt by what he regarded as a slur upon his social standing than he would have been if he had a kick on the chin, for which he could have got a legal redress. See, this does not mean that the damages are negligible. एक बाजू तो राइटर ये कहते हैं कि लॉ ने ऐसा कोई प्रोविजन नहीं किया है कि जिसके मुताबिक लिफ्टमैन की फीलिंग्स हर्ट हुई है तो उसको कंपेंसेशन मिलना चाहिए, पर एट द सेम टाइम समटाइम्स द डैमेजेस आर नेग्लिजिबल. कभी कभी डैमेजेस जो होते हैं, इमोशनल, मोरल, इंटेलेक्चुअल डैमेजेस जो होते हैं, वो बिल्कुल भी अवॉइड करने लायक नहीं होते हैं. It is probable that the liftman was much more acutely hurt. उसको बहुत बुरा लगा। शायद उसको कोई मार देता या फिर कोई उसको मतलब कोई उसके साथ बुरे तरीके से पेश आता, उससे भी ज़्यादा उसे ये बुरा लगा कि उसको पैसेंजर ने प्लीज नहीं कहा। The pain of a kick on the shin soon passes away, but the pain of a wound to our self-respect or our vanity may poison a whole day. This is a wonderful statement that the writer passes over here. He says, the pain of a kick on the shin soon passes away. मतलब अगर किसी ने किक मारी है तो उसका जो पेन है वो तो तुरंत चला जाता है, बट द पेन ऑफ अ वुंड टू अवर सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट और अवर वेनिटी, लेकिन हमारे हमारे सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, सेल्फ एस्टीम, हमारी वेनिटी पे जो किसी ने घाव दिया, उसका पेन, that might poison a whole day, that might spoil your entire day. I can imagine that liftman denied the relief of throwing the author of his wound out of the lift, brooding over the insult by the hour, and visiting it on his wife in the evening as the only way of restoring the equilibrium, balance. So the writer says that I am sure, I can imagine that liftman who was refused good manners, that liftman must have felt very bad. He must be emotionally damaged. His feelings must be hurt, and that is why visiting his own wife in the evening, he must have, you know, poured his feelings out on that person. मीन्स रिस्टोरिंग हिज इक्विलिब्रियम, मतलब बैलेंस करने के लिए उसके साथ सुबह जो किसी ने गुस्सा किया, उस वो गुस्सा उसके दिमाग में रहा होगा, और शाम को व्हेन ही वेंट टू हिज हाउस एंड व्हेन ही मेट हिज वाइफ, he must have taken he should have, you know, poured the entire anger on his wife. अपना पूरा गुस्सा उसने निकाला ही होगा. But there are few things more catching than bad temper and bad manners. क्योंकि बैड टेम्पर एंड बैड मैनर्स बहुत ही ज़्यादा, यू कैन स्टॉप देम, दे आर गोइंग टू बी एक्सप्रेस. When Sir Anthony Absolute bullied Captain Absolute, the latter went out and bullied his man Fag, whereupon Fag went out downstairs and kicked the page boy. Probably the man who stayed top to the liftman was really only getting back on his employer who had not stayed. Uh, I'm so sorry. Probably the man who said talk to the liftman was really only getting back on his employer who had not said good morning to him, because he himself had been henpecked at breakfast by his wife, to whom the cook had been insolent because the housemaid had answered her back. So this is the writer says that bad temper or bad manners that can have, you know, infectious kind of nature, means the man who had not said please to the liftman, he himself must be angry because his employer did not say good morning to him that day, and that employer did not say good morning to that man because he was not given proper breakfast by his wife in the morning. The wife was also angry because the wife was, uh, uh, because the cook of the house did not talk properly with the wife of that man. The cook was also not happy because the maid answered her back on that day. So, in short, the writer wants to say that bad temper can create a history. The maid did not talk properly to the cook. The cook did not talk properly to the wife of the employer. The wife did not serve properly to the employer. Employer did not talk properly with this employee. The employee did not talk properly to the liftman. So this can have a change. What the writer wants to say, we infect the world with our humor. I mean, we can infect people by the bad manners. That in the same way, we can infect people by our anger. We can infect the world with our good manners as well. We can infect the world with our smile. We can infect. So see, this is all upon us. It is we and only we ourselves who are going to decide how to infect others. Bad manners probably do more to poison the stream of the general life than all the crimes in the calendar. For one wife who gets a black eye from an otherwise good-natured husband, there are 100 who live a life of martyrdom under the shadow of a morose temper. But all the same, the law cannot become the guardian of all of our private manners. No decalogue could cover the vast area of offences, and no code could administer a law which governed our social civilities, our speech, the tilt of our eyebrows, and all our moods and manners. So no decalogue. No, see, decalogue means 10 commandments. Means यहाँ पे इसका मीनिंग लो कि कोई भी बड़े से बड़ा कानूनी दस्तावेज, कोई भी बड़े से बड़ा पुस्तक, कोई भी बड़ी किताब could cover, no book could cover the vast area of offences, and no code could administer a law which governed our social civility. कोई ऐसी बुक नहीं है, कोई ऐसी किताब नहीं लिखी गई, कोई ऐसा ग्रंथ नहीं लिखा गया जो हमारी सोशल सिविलिटी, हमारी सामाजिक सभ्यता को गवर्न कर पाए, उसको सही रास्ता दिखा पाए, या फिर हमारी स्पीच, द वे वी स्पीक, द टिल्ट ऑफ अवर आईब्रोज, किस तरीके से हम अपनी आईब्रोज को मोड़ दे के नॉन वर्बली कुछ कहते हैं, एंड ऑल अवर मूड्स एंड मैनर्स। मतलब कोई भी दुनिया में कोई भी ऐसी किताब नहीं लिखी गई है जो हमारी प्राइवेट मैनर्स को, हमारी पर्सनल लाइफ में कैसे हैं हम, हमारे कैसे मैनर्स है, द वे वी टॉक टू अदर्स, द वे वी प्रेजेंट अवर सेल्फ टू अदर्स, हमारी सोशल सिविलिटीज, अवर स्पीच एंड द टिल्ट ऑफ अवर आईब्रोज and our moods and our manners, all these things cannot be governed by any great book of law. So law cannot force us, it cannot compel us to be good to others. It can just show us the rules and regulations. So we can follow the rules and regulations and still we can be bad manners, right? So bad manners probably do more poison than any other crime in this world or in the entire world, in the entire history of the world. You can do. हमारी बैड मैनर्स, हमारी इसको कह सकते हैं असामाजिक सभ्यता, जिसको सभ्यता ही नहीं कहा जा सकता है, वो असामाजिकता से हम जो पॉइजन, हम जो जहर फैलाते हैं, उससे इतना नुकसान होता है कि उतना नुकसान किसी बड़े से बड़े ऑफेंस, किसी बड़े के बड़े गुनाह से पूरी दुनिया में नहीं हो सकता. दैट इज व्हाट द राइटर वांट्स टू say, that certain damages that are caused by the bad manners are, irreparable. They cannot be repaired. I hope I could satisfy you on, this, that importance of the writer actually begins the his essay by saying that the good manners and the good behavior are very important, and you cannot, uh, completely avoid the importance of good manners at all. Uh, I think I'm going to stop here for today, and we are going to understand everything. We are going to have a recap of what we have learned today in the next class again. But before that, I'm going to, tell you about assignments. Now, what are assignments? Uh, in colleges, you have specific marks for assignments. So the way you have external marks, external marks are the marks that you get from your exams that are conducted by universities. And internal marks are the marks that are given by college authorities. The internal markings are done by the teachers of the various subjects. The internal marks are given, they are the total of your attendance first, your assignment second, and third, your internal test. For the recent years, in this COVID-19 situation, internal tests perhaps may not be conducted, but MCQ tests might be conducted. So you will get marks for MCQ tests. Your MCQs will be conducted by college. Secondly, you will get marks for attendance, and thirdly you will get assignment. Now what are assignments? You will be given a topic. I mean, you will be there will be an assignment week in which every day will be the assignment of one subject, and for that one subject you will be given the syllabus for that assignment, and then on that day of assignment you have to write your assignment and you have to submit it on Google Classroom. How to submit assignment? What is the what will be the, see, the questions will be given on the day of assignment. You will be given the timetable for assignment well in advance. You will be given the syllabus for each and every subject well in advance. What you have to do, you have to take your book, you have to write your assignment, you have to take its picture and you have to submit it on Google Classroom, okay, on that day. So what you have to do is you have to get the questions for assignment from the respective teachers, the teachers who teach that subject. Okay, the teachers would give you the syllabus well in advance. The questions will be given on the day of assignment only. You have to write it throughout the day. I mean, you have to complete it within that one day and you have to submit it. You will be having special markings for assignment. You will be having markings for attendance as well, and you will also be having marks for the way you behave in the classroom. Though you are not physically present, your behavior can be noticed, right? Because this is very important for all of us to understand, because right now we are learning this lesson on saying please, which is on the importance of good manners. And I hope you guys have not forgotten the fact that I have told you to write a paragraph, or you can say an essay, on the importance of good manners in our life. I think with this, I'm going to end today's class, and in the next class, we will be meeting again to continue with the lesson on saying please. Thank you. How we have to write our assignment, will that be told